IGCSE Computer Science, Syllabus Statement 1.3.5b. And actually, before we continue, 1.3.5b is actually pretty short when I look at it. It's shorter than output devices or input devices, but it's still stuff to learn, yeah, but still quite short. So, and actually, the next topic, which is operating systems, is much shorter. It's not really just operating systems. It's more of operating systems, interrupts, buffers, and all that. And then there's high, low-level languages, which is only going to take like 2 videos. So we're pretty much almost done with topic 3. We just have this one, then solid state, and then optical offline, and then magnetic and solid state offline as well. And then we have operating systems, and then we have interrupts and buffers, and then we have high, low-level languages, and then we have translators, and that's it for topic 3. We're almost there, guys. Alright, so I think I've wasted enough time talking about that. Let's jump into HDDs. So, hard disk drive is a common secondary storage method which makes use of magnetic disks to store data. So basically, what happens is data is stored in a digital format on the magnetic surfaces of the disks, or we're going to refer to them as platters, because that's what they're usually called. They kind of look like this, and as you can see, if you can see really closely here, these are read-write heads, and you can see that there are a number of them, which means that there are a number of platters here, but you can't really see that. So a typical hard disk drive will have a number of platters, which can spin around 7,000, 7,000 times per second. Usually each platter has 2 surfaces to store data. A number of read-write heads have access to the surfaces of the platters, and typically they can move from the center of a platter to the edge and back again 50 times a second. I don't know if I should consider that fast, because physically it is fast, but it can be slow, and we'll look at that. On the platters, data is stored in sectors and tracks. Each sector has a fixed number of bytes. Now it's important that we know what we mean by sector. So let's look at a platter. So here we have A, B, C, and D. So A is the track, the pink thing right here. B is the geometrical sector. Now this is what we mean. Here's the confusing part. Now we mean this is the geometrical sector. So if you imagine a circle, this would be the sector of a circle. But we don't mean geometrical sector when we say sector in platters. We mean the track sector right here, this small part right here, the sector of a track. So that's what we mean by sector. So instead of like sectors like these, we have sectors like these. So we have a bunch of sectors for each track. And that's what we mean by that. And just to avoid any confusion. And D is a cluster, but we don't need to know about that. The real disadvantage of HDDs is latency. Now, latency is pretty much the time taken for a block of data on a track to rotate around to the read-write head. And this is a disadvantage because since many applications require the read-write heads to look for the correct sectors to read or write data, a big number of head movements are required. Does that make sense? A big number of head movements are required. I don't think that makes sense. It should be a big number of head movements is required. Anyway, you get the point. So, you may notice this effect when you see messages such as, please wait, or not responding. So that there you can see an effect of latency, because it takes time to write data, and in extreme cases, it doesn't really respond. So that's pretty much it for hard disk drives, and we'll look at solid-state drives in the next video, and we're going to see how they avoid this latency problem.